say something on the show here. If Benfica beats Barcelona by 2 or more goals, I will tattoo it on my leg. Right here. It'll go right here. Right there. Right there. I will listen for the date, SLB, right? And then fucking Barcelona, trash, right? The result, and the date, and the goal scorers, mate, and the minutes. I'll make it look good. I will tattoo that shit on my leg. I will tattoo that.
Hey, you give me that 2-goal win, I'm here with the gun. Can't win myself.
I'm here with a gun. I love it.
Oh my God!
I'll get Messi's face on as well just for the banter, mate. Fuck it hell.
And that's it, man. So Luis just had a fun night, drinking it up, partying it up, and he has not made it for the 3 a.m. show, understandably.
He's getting his tattoo right now.
He's in the process. He's calling all the tap.
He said he got a guy. He said, I got a guy.
He's got a guy.
He's got a guy.
I can't wait to see this new tat he's getting. It's Messi's face on it, everything, man. This thing's gonna be glamorous.
Sheesh, what a man! I can't believe that I can't believe that backfired that way in such a beautiful.
It's such a perfect way,
poetic way.
It was so quick. They didn't even wait till the second leg. They just made it happen right away.
Yeah, the pressure's on for Luis.
Yeah.
But real quick, we got a big special guest, a good friend. Haven't seen him in a while, Mr. Cristiano. How you doing, buddy?
Cristiano Oliveira, that is, for those of you that don't have the privilege of watching the video, thinking the other Cristiano. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm glad to be here with you guys. Appreciate the invitation, man. And what better day to come on here than today, man? After a spectacular Benfica performance, this is at least I'm a little bit older than you guys, so this is the Benfica I grew up on. These huge European nights, and at least for today, we were brought back to those moments. So I'm glad to be joining you guys here today to speak a little bit about that.
It's exciting, man. Exciting. It's a good time, like you said. We haven't been able to live these moments for a while now, and it felt good today, man. It's Benfica's acting like they won the Champions League, but it's just the second round of the group stage.
Second round, second leg, or second match day,
second match, whatever.
First leg, against Barcelona.
First leg, yeah. But it is just it's awesome, man. You haven't seen this in ages. It feels long overdue. A club of Benfica's historic stature has not been living up to their historic stature for many years, and it's nice to kind of see that there's still some fire in that tank, right?
There's one negativity from today. The only downside to it all was that, unfortunately, the Estadio de Luz was only allowed 50% of capacity. That's the only because if you had, look, it was pretty loud, and all of us watching at home, obviously being in North America, we did not have the privilege of being in the building. And I'm pretty sure all you guys had the goosebumps like I did. You had that emotion going through your body, and as exciting as loud as the place was, I just kept thinking, imagine if this was packed to capacity. That's the only negative, but nonetheless, we won the game, and it's spectacular, man, to see the like that jumping. And it's the only thing missing was the pyro. Also, I love that stuff. I love that. But obviously, that's banned in Portugal, so
they would have.
That was the percentage that didn't get in.
We need Melo to go to a game and sneak it in his butt cheeks. You know what
I mean? Oh yeah. It's gonna be a small flare. I could just get bring a lighter in. So I would just be out there like,
hey Melo, but I just to touch, you brought up a lighter. I've had the privilege of going to games in Portugal, and these away games is, look, going to the Luz is special, but going to these away games is spectacular as well. It's an interesting experience, and obviously they frisk you, they do the whole thing, and I just first time I went and like see guys taking off their shoes and everybody taking off socks. What the fuck that was going on here? And they're all hiding the lighters in between their toes and whatever to get it. It was crazy. I was like, yo, this is gangster, yo. So it's funny you brought up the lighters because that's exactly what they do.
When I was kind of younger, I remember like seeing people smoking cigarettes in the luge, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like being in, from here in North America, you would never even, they don't show that shit on TV. Nah. But in Portugal, you know what I mean? Like you see the whole row,
they still do
Marlboro
it now.
Reds.
They still do it now. Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Hey, man. They're different over there, thankfully.
It was good, man. It was an outstanding game, outstanding day, man. It's just it's very cool. The one thing that I love to see people eat crow on and is the sports media, the way that they're talking about Benfica and Barcelona and this result. The funniest one I saw was some Barcelona journalists saying, "Oh, this is the worst time ever in the history of Barcelona." And in other news, they're thinking of hiring Pirlo as their manager. And someone, remind this schmuck the last time Pirlo faced Benfica, how that looked like, right? So it's
real quick. I mean, to be honest, looking at it in that from a media standpoint, like, have we given them a reason to not say those things in recent years? You know what I mean? Like, I don't blame them for looking at us like, maybe an afterthought. It was our job today to kind of remind them that name, remind them who we were. You know what I mean? But
you guys,
I don't blame them. Benfica hasn't shown us anything in the last, let's say, 5 years in the Champions League. You know what I mean? You bring up Champions League lately. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, man, is Basel. I know it's crazy, but like Champions League, that's the first thing that comes to my mind in recent years, just because of how embarrassing it was. So I don't blame them for looking at it that way. But like you said, I love when they get to eat crow.
Look, you're 100% correct. I talked about this on yesterday's Benfica podcast, which is us Benfiquistas, we want to sit here and point the finger at Barcelona and talk about their current situation, how tragic things are. And, this is probably the worst team, prior to the year that Rijkaard got there in like 03 or 04. Like, it was, things were bleak at the time. And I think they've returned to those times now. But let's not act like we're not a club that's going through our own dysfunction. Exactly. You know what I mean? Our president was just locked up. You know what I mean? So we're like you said, we've given the press plenty of reasons to doubt us. We've gone to these European nights, not even in Champions League, in the Europa League, and not represented ourselves the way with the dignity that we're supposed to represent ourselves. So, I mean, look, Mario, I get it. Tonight is a night that you want to pound your chest, but at the same time, I can't really blame everybody else because look, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of Benfiquistas throughout the world that were doubting today. That were doubting Benfica today. I myself, I didn't see a 3-0 victory. I mean, if you did,
if you said that, then you're a liar.
Yeah,
if you said that we were going to win 3-0,
or maybe tongue in cheek about it, right?
There's a reason why Luis said he's going to tattoo himself if we get 2 or more goals, right?
Exactly. I was calling a draw, right? And I thought a draw, like some Benfiquistas, due to the way that Barcelona's been playing of late, they probably would have taken that, with some, negativity. But again, it's still Barcelona. When these clubs are going through a bad time, it's still Barcelona. I know they're not playing up to their abilities, right? But their capabilities, but they still have Coutinhos of the world. They still have, the plenty of guys that would start at Benfica in a heartbeat. And so, look, credit to Benfica. They stepped up. JJ and his men today, at least for today, did what they had to do. They represented. We're all proud. We're ecstatic. We don't really give a crap at what's going on in Barcelona. We're just happy that we did what we had to do, and it's one of those unforgettable nights. For Benfica, it's only the third time in team history that we've beaten somebody 3-0 in this new format of the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. So it's something to be proud, but at the same time, take it in the context of it's a week in Barcelona. It's a wounded dog, and so look, let's act like we've been there before. We're not sport. You know what I mean? We've been there before, leading. We got 2 of them big ass cups with ears in our museum. Let's act like we've been there. Let's not act like we just won the Champions League, like you mentioned before, Mario. Some people are celebrating like that. Nonetheless, we won. It's exciting. But on to the next. It's about Saturday and Portimonense.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's too early to celebrate, but it's okay to party. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy the day. You know what I mean? Like, let's enjoy the day because, to be honest, I watch a lot of Champions League football. We all do. And you wake up, like yesterday, you see a team like Sheriff, right, take down the Real Madrid. And you thinking, like, just in your head, like, when are we going to get one of those days where the ball bounces our way and we're going to be the ones, who's celebrating at the end of the day. And today the ball bounced our way 3 times. So It was our day
Well,
today, and I want to bask in it. Like I said in our chat, I want to bathe in it. You know, and I'm gonna for the day. But then next
yeah.
week we got Bayern, and you know, I'm okay. I'm all right with being humbled every now and then.
Yeah, one of the things for me is like they mentioned it a couple of times in the broadcast as well. Benfica hadn't beat Barcelona since 1961 when we won our first European final. So like the fact that that's even a stat out there, you're looking at it again, like Cristiano said. I was honestly expecting a draw, and that's really just due to like in the past in 06 and 2012 we were able to pull out draws against in 06 the Barcelona side that won the Champions League, and in 2012 a side that was coming off of one of the best seasons ever. And obviously they still had Messi back then. And when I kind of looked at the situation, I was like, listen, this is a Benfica squad who the last game we lost, not an official game, but the last game we lost was to our B team in summer, which is just something funny to think of. And we're riding a 12-game win streak in official games. You even look at those games, and really, you did have that draw with PSV, but the first game that you were disappointed to not win was that Kiev game.
Oh,
so you had 9 games.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You had 9 games where you were like, yo, this is the Benfica, like Benfica, like all the Benfiquistas like to say. And it made you really excited. It made you think, Barca's down. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm not sure about you guys, Arsenal was weak last season too. When we got drawn with Arsenal, everyone's like, oh, this is easy. Arteta in. And then, they gave us the work. They got a little lucky as well. But it just goes to show these big clubs, they could be down in the dirt. And Barcelona, keep in mind, Barcelona's first loss was to Bayern Munich. They haven't lost in the league yet. They've had some disappointing results, but I'm not sure if anyone watched their match this weekend against Levante. They won 3-0. It should have been 6. And it was a convincing 3-0 win. So all you need is one game like that for them to get their magic back. Because like you were saying, they still have Memphis Depay. They still have Pedri, who was unreal as we saw today. They still have like all these guys. They still have PK,
Frankie.
who was exactly Ter Stegen in the net. If Ter Stegen's on his game, it doesn't matter who you have on your team. You're not scoring, and you can't win if you can't score.
Unless it's Darwin.
Clearly.
But it is a fair comment. If you go to, it could be our show, any other show. I bet you if we grab the Benfica podcast, it'll be the same thing. When they first announced this group, it was okay. We got to get the results against Kiev, both games, and it's not a great Barcelona. So if we can nick the result at home and have Bayern Munich do us a favor, maybe. And that was kind of what every Benfica had in their mind. Maybe if things go the right way, maybe we have some.
Well,
hope.
the wild card was going to be Barcelona. How well we played against them. That was always going to be the wild card.
Yeah.
As you stated, we expected to get the points against the Kievs of the world. Bayern, look, we've seen our Portuguese brothers, right? Well, we don't really like them, but we have to call them brothers in this instance, right? Sporting, they've taken 5. Porto's taking 5. We're hoping that we're not up next.
Yeah, exactly.
So look. Bayern is arguably, he's right up there. You could argue the best team in the world. They're in the conversation. They're a phenomenal football club.
Yeah,
they're a phenomenal football club. So it's going to be very tough when we play these guys back to back. So realistically, if we get a draw out of one of these games, I mean, that's as good as a victory. All right. And then the Kiev obviously was a huge disappointment. You expected to get all 3 points there. But when you look at prior history, and I saw a stat, and look, I'm great at reading these things, but then I'm really terrible at forgetting as well. Which is, I saw a stat, if I'm not mistaken, which was only Barcelona and Juventus had beaten Kiev in I don't know, for some recent history or whatever it was. So, to really go out there and expect a victory when so very few clubs have gone out there and came away with the 3 points, it was maybe a lot to ask for Benfica. And then we played a lot better than what we all anticipated. But by the time that final whistle was blown, guys, we were lucky.
That was gut wrenching. We
were going to get the 1 point. We were
talking about it. We were talking about it that day, Cristiano. And one of the things we were saying is like when that goal happened in the 93rd minute, obviously it was taken back by VAR, but like, as a Benfica fan, it was very difficult your immediate gut reaction after the game to be upset because you saw your team lose and you're like going through all these situations. Like, are we even going to make Europa League? The goal gets canceled and you're like, all right, we'll take a point because we just lost.
At that point, you're satisfied with the point.
Exactly.
Yep.
In hindsight, no, but you even look at the situation. Like, I don't want to make excuses, but Lucas Verissimo wasn't playing that match. You saw the difference he made today. Even then, like you just look at the kind of the other situation, like you said, actually the last game that they had lost at home was to Villarreal, and Villarreal won the Europa League. So like that's nothing to hang your head down about. They're a great team at home. Yeah, their league's a little,
Oh,
tough,
Kiev?
but if
And we don't
yeah,
travel.
exact Kiev,
Was
Kiev.
but
We
that
don't travel
loss,
that well over there, anyways.
but
Hey,
that
well,
loss,
exactly.
but Joe, that loss, was it in the Champions League?
In the Champions League, no, in the Europa
Okay,
League. I
that's
was just
okay.
saying their
Oh, yeah,
last.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, no. I think I saw that stat as well
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Barca and Juve. But the last time that they lost, period, at home. The last time that they lost, period, was at home against Villarreal, who ended up winning the Europa
Okay.
League. So they're a solid squad. And I mean, you look at that PSV squad that we beat to even get here. You
Yeah.
saw that team goal that they had in the first week of the Europa League. They're a good team. This Benfica, I don't want to be that guy, pounding my chest and stuff, but you can just tell this Benfica is different. This Benfica is different.
Yeah,
The 100 million
Joe,
obviously last year helps, but this Benfica is different.
yeah, Joe, I'm glad you said that. I just before we're talking about all these pre-match thoughts and all these pre-match feelings. But when I saw the lineups, when the game was about to start, I saw the lineups. I saw how they were lining up. Okay, the three in the back, PK. Okay, he's a good defender, no doubt about it. But that Dest in the back, I'm thinking like we can have our way with this line right now. Like we could really have our way with this line. And as soon from the beginning, yes, I seen the Busquets move already, but that happened. That things changed real fast and in a hurry. And Barcelona, I don't know, man. I had this overconfidence when that first whistle blew, and we're gonna get into the game and the notes and things like that. But
Do you want me to do the 11? You
man.
want to read out the 11?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'll put it playing. You do your thing, Melo. You ready, buddy?
Melo, you're still on mute.
All right, so Benfica lined up today. We'll start in the back. Vlachodimos between the pipes. Our back line was Lucas Verissimo, Nicolas Otamendi, Jan Vertonghen. We had Valentino Lazaro, Weigl, Mariu, and Grimaldo made up our midfield, and Rafa Silva, Yaremchuk, and Darwin Núñez were up top for Benfica.
Very good, very good. And I'll get this thing up here for everyone to see so they can see the lineup, make it a little larger. And yeah, man, it was when I first saw the lineup, I'll say this much. I was a little nervous, if I'm honest. You got Grimaldo, you got the three center backs in the back. You get scared. Are we going to sit back? Are we going to play with almost like a 5 in the back kind of formation? And it's going to be Barcelona holding the possession, even though it's not a fine Barcelona. My honest nerves was that this could be us just struggling and floundering, but that's not what we saw, which is good. Jorge Jesus got a great lineup going. It worked out perfectly. Got to ask you, Cristiano, what'd you think, man, when you saw this lineup? Were you excited? Was it what you expected? Anything you would have, hindsight's different, obviously, but what was your initial feel?
I got to give a big shout out to Alfredo Fumasas, who on yesterday's podcast when we were doing our predictions. And I was like, man, I really got to look at what lineup Benfica comes out with, because I was feeling a 1-1 and possibly a 2-2, but I wasn't sure what lineup we were going to field. And he's like, man, JJ, if something's working, he's going to stick to it. And, you hit it right on the head. It's the same exact lineup from the weekend against Guimarães. And look, it's a lineup that's given Benfica results. Those three at the top, with the speed, Rafa's speed, Darwin's physicality. It's just, what's his name? Yaremchuk's finishing ability. It's a beautiful thing, to watch. And so credit to him, credit to the players for coming out and performing. Weigl has just turned it around for a while there. We were questioning whether this guy, what the hell have we spent the 20 million on, because we had not seen the same player that we'd seen previously at Dortmund. So he's finally turned it around. João Mario, a guy much maligned, has come over. There's a lot of doubt and negativity, but he's having a solid season here so far. And today in a big game, right? Like we stated we've all stated, I should say. A wounded dog, but still it's Barcelona with tremendous players in that lineup. And so these guys are performing, when the Champions League night against tough competition, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. So JJ gets a lot of criticism, and at times rightfully so. But Mario, you've known me a little longer than both of these gentlemen here in the chat, and I've always been a huge JJ guy. And last year, he had me scratching my head. I mean, I was wondering if he left his personality or whatever, his hunger in Brazil. But But luckily this season, it looks like it's back at the Estadio de Luz, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. So, look, when Benfica plays like this, when Benfica takes it to the opposition, this is all we've been asking for in European competitions. We've seen Porto come out there, regardless of who they're playing. They bring it to them. They play with garra. Benfica has not done that over the last few years in European competition. And today, they brought it. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And so very excited, man. Very excited. Hopefully we keep this momentum going. It's going to be a tough game this weekend. And then obviously when Bayern comes up, it's a whole different beast. But, one game at a time. And, maybe we could shock the world. Sheriff, which I got to tell you, Mel, you mentioned Sheriff before. And when the Champions League draw came, I thought it was like some BS nickname that somebody gave a team. I didn't even. And then when I see Sheriff,
Somebody's a Bob Marley fan.
Yeah, I'm like, that's hard. I'm like, that's really, I had no idea.
And they got a sheriff's badge also, and it's like the most American thing also. Somewhere I don't even know. I'm being an ass. Eastern European. Where the fuck are they from?
Moldova.
So
Moldova.
Yeah, but they got something funny too, where like they're from like a separatist state within Moldova. So like there's like actually a really interesting YouTube channel like Transnistria is where they're from. Like if you ask them where they're from, they won't say they're from Moldova.
That sounds like a radio frequency.
It's so literally, it's so crazy.
That sounds like Barcelona. That sounds like Barcelona. We're from Catalonia, not from Spain. Kind of want to
yeah.
But it's
Barcelona, Moldova.
Mario, they don't even have sponsors on their jerseys. You
Well,
see that the guy yesterday
now.
took off his jersey. It was like one of those games where like you spot what's missing. It's like these guys don't have a sponsor on their jersey.
But could it be? But I've seen that in the past. I'm pretty sure you guys have as well, where your sponsor's banned by UEFA, and so some teams play without sponsorship on their shirts when it comes to European Cup because it's an alcohol. Unless UEFA like promoting Heineken, you can't promote an alcoholic beverage, but we can. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. So maybe it's one of those. I don't know. Maybe they got Marlboro. Like back in the Camel.
Local. They got the local rippers.
That'd be a kit to have.
It could be, but at least in the pictures that I've seen of them on Instagram, I've never seen like any sponsors on their jerseys.
Well, I didn't know they existed until a few weeks ago. So
well, that's what neither did I. I just started looking through everything.
But it's cool, man. It's cool. I think it's hilarious. This is kind of the Schadenfreude situation, as a shout out to the German word that means taking pleasure in the misfortune of others. In the sense that
showing off now, Melo.
Why can't you just say that?
I like that word. My Schadenfreude is the only German word I know. It's
pick a big English word or a big Portuguese word. Now a German word.
Like, German. But these guys at Real are going on saying how no one wants to see Real versus Sheriff. Blah blah blah. We're elites. We should be with the giants of Europe, like Spurs and Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like these guys talking out of their ass. And, so it's like it's a bang fate. On average, Real should win that. They always should. But it was the right timing for something like that to happen.
But look,
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's they went into the Bernabeu and they shocked the world. So. Like I said, JJ, I gave JJ the perfect speech to go into the locker room yesterday, with my JJ face. And I said, if these guys can do it, we could do it at home. And so hopefully that inspires a lot of other smaller teams throughout European football, because on any given Sunday, anyone could be beaten. Happens to be on any given Wednesday. Yesterday was a Tuesday, but just switch
the brass rails from my side that I said. I'm pretty sure that's a Toronto
Mario,
thing.
Yeah,
that's a Toronto thing.
Yep.
Anyways, enough the Rippers comments. But yeah, man, what a game. So going off, Mel, I know you picked up a bunch of notes that you took out that you want to go through.
Yeah, just to get us talking about the game. I did definitely got some things. And real quick, how I started it, and I'm glad Cristiano said it.
Awake.
That's the way he's got to get. I know he's got to get out of here.
Come on,
get that red eye in.
Show us the tattoo. Yeah. Where's the tattoo?
Get that red eye in.
2 seconds. Pop in for the hello, man.
I thought he had a guy. But real quick, like Cristiano
at 3
said,
he had a guy. Goddamn.
Yeah, he had a guy. But like Cristiano said about the fans, I just wanted to shout out the fans because although we're still dealing with the COVID restrictions, we're not at full capacity. You could hear the fans singing, the excitement, the electricity. It was in there. They were ready for this good day. And you can feel it. I could feel it on my MacBook through the little speakers. So shout out to them real quick. Benfica was in their red and white bottoms. Barcelona brought their piss yellow kits to match that piss poor performance that they were about to put on display there in the luge. I just had to throw that out there because it was funny. So we'll start real quick. 2 minutes in, João Mario makes a great defensive play on Pedri. The ball ends up at Weigel's feet, who knocks the ball over top to Darwin, who makes a run ahead into space. And just with ice in his veins, really, I felt like he knew. He had the one-on-one. He could take him. He had 3 step overs. He created a little space. He turns and shoots. And 2 minutes into the game, Benfica's up 1-0.
We're lucky he didn't pull a hamstring on one of those crosses.
Man, yes. If he doesn't get that 5-star skill for FIFA this year, then I don't know. Somebody's not watching. But it was an amazing goal. Benfica go up early.
Quickly cut out on that one. Like the amount of times we've seen Darwin run on the wing, do a little play, find himself in a position to just pass. We've been saying for a while, just take the goddamn shot, kid,
or
and
just lose possession.
Or just lose possession.
Yeah,
Exactly. But
it's like one of those FIFA moves. A guy gets to the byline, does the feint, and the ball goes out of bounds. We've seen plenty of that with Darwin.
And in Champions League, you got to be perfect. And today, I mean, that move, that space he created, the shot was all perfect. Ter Stegen wasn't ready for it. We go up 1-0. 4 minutes in, Darwin from left to right, we're on the pitch now, gets a nice pass from Chuck with the give and go. Grimaldo almost makes it 2-0 for Benfica on that shot. And at this time, guys, it's 4 minutes in. Benfica's already got 2 great shots on goal. I don't know really what's going on. I could feel it. And like I said, when I seen the lineup, I just felt it. Like I felt this overconfidence, and we're on them fast, guys. 2 minutes in, 2 minutes in, we score a goal. 4 minutes later, Chuck is already, creeping into the box, ready to put us up again. We got 10 minutes. So Barcelona is not to be slept on. Like you guys said earlier, this is still Barcelona. This is still, a high-paid players. Busquets is a great player. Frankie's a great player. They have talent. They are not to be slept on. They get a great through ball to Frankie, who creeps through like a thief in the night, like TLC. For those of you my age, they just crept in. All right, it was fucking crazy. So he lays it off. So Frankie lays it off to the lesser of the De Jongs on the team. Like Dikembe Mutombo, bruh. Verissimo just no. He just denies it. And to me already, and this is spoiler alerts, this has to be, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. This has to be their play of the game already. Like from this moment on, I think we kind of made our presence felt. What did you guys think? Anyone you want to jump in? Because I mean that defensive play so early. I mean, it could have been 1-1, and all that work we just did was for nothing.
Two things it quickly did is the lack of confidence to take the shot, that he was nervous, so he side passed it. And Mauricio doing what he did, man, like just an amazing save. Because, if he didn't get it, we were fucked. You knew we were fucked on that one.
Yeah. And Frankie, the thing is, like the first thing I thought of, just real quick, kind of going back to the starting lineup, was I saw Pedri in there. And I'm not sure if you guys remember, he had like a muscle injury recently. So he was kind of, whatever, up in the air. I saw him starting and I was scared. Because anyone that's been watching Barcelona for the last year, been watching that kid in any of the 70+ games the guy's played in the last year, like he's class, and we saw that today. And I was so scared of him and Frankie. Frankie, like you said, Mario, like he's so unselfish with the ball, and he even had a play a couple minutes later where he passed one through to Memphis. But I was like, if they get one, don't let them get one. I mean, it's like the 04 Sox. Shout out to Cristiano, but you don't let us get one. Don't let us get one, because if we get one, we got 2, we got 3, we get Game 7's here. Anything can happen to Game 7. Anything can happen to Game 7. So, quick shout out to my Sox there, real quick. But no, I saw that and I was really, really happy that it didn't, like, the game didn't turn its head right there. Shout out for Verissimo. What a guy! What a guy!
Yeah, what a play.
You missed him against Kiev. We talked about it a little bit before the show, but you really missed him against Kiev.
Definitely. Now here we're gonna set up some controversy. Here's a play, a moment in the game that sets up some controversy later. And we, as Benfica fans, especially here, I know on this show, we're not one of those people. We're not those people who come in and start barking about the referee. But Jesus Christ, this referee today, man. I mean, really was like, I felt like it was almost like he was trying to take the momentum away from Benfica at every chance he could get. But anyways, 11 minutes, 30 seconds. I put it to the fucking T. PK gets a yellow card. He's booked for a hard foul on Chuck. And this is going to be important later on in this game because I felt like when the fix is in, the fix is in. But that's later. That's how I felt later. So we're going to jump to the 26th minute after a stretch of football where Barcelona, and this is what you were talking about earlier, Pedri this kid, he was involved a couple times. He misses a shot wide. Benfica, Barcelona are still knocking on the door. This is still Barcelona. At no point did I feel like, this game was just in the bag.
Hey, not to like throw any spoiler alerts out there or anything, but did you notice when they're down 3-0? When they're down 3-0, yeah, exactly. I know. When they're down 3-0, he's playing as if it's like 0-0 still. He doesn't stop playing. And that's scary. Like if you have those young guys, like people are talking about Barcelona, man, listen, this young generation, Ansu Fati, him, like all these other guys, Gavi, I'm not even going to get into it, but like, that's why I was so worried. This Barcelona team could be down in the dumps. Those young kids don't care. They don't care about anything except playing, and they know how to play very well.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'll let you keep it going.
No, because what happens there in the 26th minute of that stretch of Barcelona, VinteUm gets another big play down the stretch on Memphis Depay, and gets the ball to go wide. They win a corner, and a little sneaky corner. They try to catch Benfica off guard. It almost worked there for a minute. It didn't work for the rest of the match. Benfica was on that shit for the rest of the match. It wasn't happening. To wrap things up real quick in the first half, and we'll talk about the first half. Lazaro pulls a hamstring. He goes down. And I'm going to take a word from Cristiano that he uses a lot because I'm a big fan of the podcast. I think Lazaro in this match had the Ginga today. Like he was the just perfect amount of Ginga on that right side where he was spinning through defenders. He's over. I mean, he's doing step overs. Like the dude was. A lot of fans, a lot of people have been giving the dude a little bit of grief. We're a quick fan base to just jump all over you real fast.
Hey man, you got Andre Almeida sitting in the wings. You got.
I got you, man. I got you because he goes down with a hamstring, and God, I call him Godberto. Godberto comes in, and like I said, we're a fan base quick to be like, here we go, Joe, Godberto comes in, bro. How you feeling when Godberto comes in?
I said, please God, not on the Wednesday. Not today. No, but like, I was Gilbert's biggest hater. I will own that 100%. Last season, I'm still convinced that they switched this guy with another Gilbert from Brazil, like his cousin or something. Or, the wrong one came to begin with. But this Gilbert that we're seeing, he did not play for Benfica last year. I'm going to say that right now. He was a summer. I don't care. I know we paid for him last year.
You see how he ran out onto the pitch?
You see him like Usain Bolt,
straight on,
crazy,
straight form. Did you see that form? I was like, oh, this guy's gonna fucking kill it.
It killed. You know what kills me real quick? Every time, you know how he's always been the type of guy that like he'll do those little rollovers with the ball. He's gotten so confident now. Like when he was doing some of them, like his back to the field, he'll like put his arm out to the other player and like kind of stiff arm him and just be rolling with the ball at his feet. It's like he's back in Brazil, just playing with his buddies. And it's like this guy went from 0 to 100 like way too quick.
And you're right because he gets subbed in and it didn't take too long, right? It did not take too long for him to already be a part of some crazy shit. I'm thinking, here we go, right? He gets that toe drag on Memphis Depay, who goes down in the box. Look, like I said, we're not a show that talks about refs too much, but the ref had already missed 2 penalties prior to this. All right. We had already got away with him. What my mind was should have been 3-0 fucking at halftime. We should have already had 2 penalties. I mean, I got red glasses on, of course. But they don't call it. They don't call it.
I'll just add one thing real quick. I did feel the ref in the first half was letting a lot of harder plays hit. Like Barca was doing a lot of hard plays and he was letting them play on. And I started thinking to myself, you know what? If this is the kind of ref he is, you got to play with the ref you're dealt, and maybe we got to play a little harder. But he did. I feel he flipped in the second half where he started not allowing the harder hits, right? And so a little erratic. But I'll let Cristiano get in here a little bit.
No, I was just gonna add regarding the refereeing. We're not naive. We understand that the bigger teams always get the benefit of the doubt. They're allowed to get away with a little bit more. We see it week in, week out, Benfica in league games, when they're playing the smaller opposition. But it just seems, and I'm not trying to be one of those guys that Melo was talking about, right? The crybabies about refereeing and whatever. But it just seems when it comes to European competition, whether it's Benfica or any of the other Portuguese teams, if there's always that 50-50 call that could go either way, it always goes against the Portuguese team. It's always like there's no way in hell had that been Verissimo, Otamendi, Vertonghen, you name it, Weigl, whatever player on the field would have been involved in very similar plays as PK was. There's no doubt in my mind he would have seen the second yellow.
Cristiano, if that's Otamendi, he's getting a yellow before he even makes the tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
And that actually
no
something real quick to bring up that honestly is something we have to look to now and be attentive of in the next games. Otamendi, when PK, is subbed out and they don't check VAR, because there was also on the same play where PK, does get Rafa. That could have been the second yellow. There was a red. The ref waves play on. At the end of that play, Darwin gets a little push. I didn't see a penalty. It was soft. But anyway, he gets a little push, and Otamendi's yelling at the fourth official
for the VAR
as the captain, which is what he can do, and he gets a yellow.
I think it was.
it
would have been soft, Joe. But it was so blatant. Like, it was so blatant.
Listen.
I mean, arm extended. Look, I'm an NFL guy, too. You can't extend them arms. When you extend them arms, that's PI. You know what I mean? Like, it was so, like...
To me, it was just pointless. It was pointless and obvious. Yeah, it was just stupid. And then even on the Memphis play, I watched it a couple times. If you look, thank God, the Gilbert toe drag is actually outside the box. He falls inside the box, but where the contact was outside. So even then, like, it was just like Mario said, though, in the first half, the referee, you could tell, was letting some of the bigger plays go. Shout out to Nelson real quick. That's obviously a major milestone in your child's life. Your first
awesome. I'm glad you can share it with us. We appreciate it. Let us know when the first steps happen. We'll be
have her on the pod.
Yeah, we'll bring her on. Yeah.
I gotta say, as a parent, man, it's the coolest thing when the little ones start like getting excited about Benfica. They don't know what the heck's going on. All they know is daddy's going like ridiculous for like 2 hours. Either he's gonna be like stomping around like a gorilla, or he's gonna be jumping around. So the kids get quite excited when they see daddy do that.
Yeah, they know if Benfica wins, they get bedtime stories. If they don't,
so we're up 1-0 at the half. What's really your feeling? What Mario? How you feeling, man?
Oh man, 1-0 against Barcelona. I'm nervous, man. Of course, I'm feeling good. I'm happy. We're up 1-0. But even though we had that one open net opportunity that Darwin missed, right? He had missed that opportunity there. You kind of sit there and say, oh, God, I hope that doesn't haunt us, because these guys broke away several times. There's like one moment, I believe it was in the second half, where Memphis just made a meal on the side cut in, and our defenders were able to clean up, right? But they had their opportunities. Like it's shout outs to all the center backs. Odie had some amazing saves. This is a collective situation where you can talk about standout players, but this was the team worked as a unit, worked efficiently. And if one of these guys fell asleep for a second, we'd be crying. So I was nervous going into that second half, and it just got a little bit better. And, the good thing I liked is that we were, pushing up. We're still going for the, we didn't sit on the 1-0. Right. We were trying to control the game. Like Barca had a bit more possession. We were trying to get a handle on it. But
either. They didn't let us.
No, they didn't. They were playing. Barca was playing.
Up.
Barca was playing, and we tried pushing up here and there. And for a while, we were even struggling getting anything in the box for a bit. There was a bit there where I was like, "Fuck, don't sit on this 1-0 lead," even though you can understand why they might. But yeah, they gave it a good fight, man.
So real quick, let's just get into the second half. This is funny. I just wanted to notate this because everybody says Benfica never takes shots outside the box. We never take shots outside the box. Well, Otamendi was like, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Rocket.
Don't worry. And it wasn't a bad shot. Don't get me wrong. It was like he put it on the keeper. Don't get me wrong. Like maybe 30 yards more, forward. Like it would have been a bomba. You know what I mean? But, he hears you guys. I just want y'all to know. The 51st minute, great heads up play by Weigl. He gets Darwin and Chuck out on the run. Ter Stegen. This is the part you were talking about right here in the 51st minute. Weigl gets the ball there in the back. He gets great heads up play, gets Darwin out in space. Ter Stegen just wants to play center midfield, right? He's like, fuck it, I'm playing defensive midfield today. He comes completely outside of the box, which is crazy and out of character for a guy like this. Is world-class fucking keeper. When I'm thinking in my head, like, here we go. He makes talk about to make a meal, Mario. Darwin and Chuck could have made a meal out of this one. Darwin, look, it would have been a hell of a shot if he made it, but he didn't. So
Look,
we're
that's
jumping.
why
on
it's
it was good,
yeah.
though.
That's
Go
why
ahead,
it's so
Chris.
frustrating to watch Darwin, because the dude has all the physical tools to be a top-notch player and be a lot more consistent than what we've seen. But I get it. It wasn't a chip shot, but it was a chip shot, if you understand what I'm saying. There was nobody in goal. I mean, I think it was harder to hit the post than it would have been to get it on goal. And, he always does the impossible. And that's the head scratching that we get from the Darwin Nunez, because when he's on, when he's confident and he's playing with that garra that we see, and credit to him, he brings it more often than not. He poses a huge threat, and it's a different Benfica team. You got him on the left coming in and wrecking havoc, and then you got Rafa with his speed on the other side, and now he's like pick your poison, and they have the ability to break down teams, and that counter attack, that threat is always, like, regardless of who you are, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City, you're gonna have to respect that. You can't teach speed. You got to respect that, and he's got all that, but he just misses wide open nets. And it's like, if the dude was to convert at a higher rate, Benfica be walking away with 3, 4, 5-0 victories week in, week out. But that inconsistency
$100 million.
is always, well, that's the next question. And so we hope he scores a boatload of them. But yeah, I mean, he's played well so far. He's played well, but the crazy thing is that the guy can still improve his game. He could take it to a whole another level if he gets to that consistency that we want. And hopefully JJ will work on that. We saw after the weekend when he had the shouting match with JJ, we all know in years past JJ would have burned him. But now maybe, look, it is a softer JJ, a guy that understands he has to treat every player differently, and he knows how hard it's been to get Darwin to the stage now. Why burn it? And so, he decided to take the high road, and we've seen, look, it paid off today. Because had he burned him, had he just, put him on the sideline and not played him like the JJ we've known in years past, obviously he wouldn't have scored 2 goals today. So things would have been a lot more interesting. So credit to JJ, credit to Darwin for always fighting and believing, but he needs to tighten it up, man.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to say one quick thing on George Jesus. I think he had a lot to prove this season. Last year was a train wreck. It's there's a lot of other issues going on, and not an easy season. And then us having to kind of make it out of the playoff stages. It was kind of like we demand to be in the group stage. That was the bare minimum expectation. He got us there. I think going forward now, he deserves a little bit more benefit of the doubt. Like, this is a big victory. I know it's not the best Barca, but at the same time, a 3-0, even against the worst Barca, is a huge feat. So I think Jorge Jesus just now bought himself, hopefully, some more support and some more slack, and kind of, if we do go through a couple of bad games, which can happen, hopefully he's got the fans and the brass and everyone has his back now, because he's getting things working better and better now. Like, it's day and night difference. The one thing I'll say about Darwin, his biggest test wasn't today. It's what he does after today, because last year he got a hat trick in Europe right at the beginning of the season. Headlines, they're talking about this, the next big guy out of Benfica, blah, 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 and the guy fizzled away.
88 mil.
Here's his other big, now this is a big moment, 2 goals, great game, could have been a hat trick. He's going to have a lot of headlines. They're going to hype him up again. How does he handle it? It's the same pressure again, right? So if he this time around shows up, it's these little things that make such a huge difference. It's that now, you're replaying the situation. Can he now do a bit better, right? Can he have that? And I do believe psychology is a big part of this sport, a big part of this game. And I think there's a winner's mentality and a loser's mentality, and Benfica had a loser's mentality for a bit. It's like nothing was going the right way, and it could seep into your psyche. You might not have that extra oomph to run. You might lose that extra play, right? So I feel this winning mentality is going to seep in, and so hopefully that seeps into Darwin, and it kind of forces him to kind of have that extra confidence, because the guy's confidence was shot at the end of last season, right? So it's good, man. It's good.
Well, all I know is that whatever the hell Benfica has been feeding him, they need to feed it to Everton, because we need to get this dude back to his old self as well, because he's a hell of a player when he's on top of his game. So credit to their whatever gurus behind the scenes that are working with this guy. Credit to him for always fighting and believing. Credit to JJ. It just goes to show you that when these guys get a little bit, when they get acclimated to the current situation, they're able to perform. You see a guy like Gilberto, who's a totally different player than last year. See a guy like Weigl, gotten a lot more comfortable. And look, not to bring it back to last year. Last year was just one of those disastrous years you want to forget about. But the whole, like, I'm me myself. I know a lot of people criticize and mock, but I'm a believer of when JJ said that COVID played a part in Benfica's disaster. I believe that it affected it. Now, can we blame COVID alone? No, absolutely not. Because Benfica, even before COVID, the whole team started getting COVID. They dropped that game against Boavista, and all of a sudden, wheels fell off, and Paok as well. All that. I don't even remember that shit. Well, but I'm just real quick, just to finish up.
Yeah.
I think that you see this year they had a preseason, right? These players are able to mingle with one another, interact with one another, get a lot. And it's been a totally different performance. So that goes to give, for those that like to mock everything that JJ says and does, look, with a regular preseason with regular conditions around us, even though there's still some things that aren't, back to old school days, but with a regular training, regular, whatever the hell they do in the offseason, we see this team is a lot closer to what we all expected them to be last year. And now with the addition of another star up top, another goal scorer, a guy that could alleviate the pressure from a Darwin Nunez, you see he's a totally different player. I think that the price tag weighed on him. The fact that he was the guy that was supposed to carry the team, be the guy, play with his back to the goal. Now he's coming from the left. He's able to attack. He doesn't have to really take on defenders at all times. He's got a lot more room, a lot more space, a lot more freedom. I think all that combined, it's just been a perfect storm here so far. And, it's been fun to watch. I would just wish that he would, tighten up his finishing ability a little bit more.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, no, I was just going to kind of hop onto that. Like, people, it's tough sometimes as fans, especially at a club like Benfica, where thankfully Benfiquistas are so involved in the club and love the club so much that they're, willing to critique right away. But this isn't FIFA. You can't buy, $100 million worth of players and expect them to, hey, like, dance. That's not how it works. Like, you even notice, and it's kind of fun seeing some of these guys on social media, and like a kid, Darwin's a kid. He's 21 years old, right? He's from Uruguay. He's not from Europe. I heard him speaking today in the post game. His Portuguese, even, I know Portuguese and Spanish are similar, but like, it's really improved. He's boys with Otamendi, so like, they're always doing those little churrascos and stuff. Like, just like they're off, but seriously, they're off field. Like, candor between the team is so much better. Like, Weigl got married and, like, he has a kid. His kid was born in Portugal. Like, you could tell Weigl, those two especially, I bring up these two because Weigl and Darwin. I mean, what did Darwin do the second he scored? He did what any one of us would have done if we scored for Benfica, which was grab the badge right away. And Weigl's the same way.
Bro, he's thrilled they rescued him from La Liga too, bro. They rescued him from second league in Spain.
Yeah,
I think Weigl's looking for Portuguese blood down the line so he can make that switch over. Right? He's getting that.
They bought in, man. They bought in, and it's crucial. It's really key to buy in. Yes, and then you have to.
You get more patience though when you're winning, guys. You know what I mean? Like with guys like Darwin and guys like Everton. When the team's winning, you can add like I can. I can handle like waiting. All right, with this guy's we're good now. Wait until we get these two guys to play. But when you're terrible, it's easy to shit on everybody. You know what I mean? And Darwin, $24 million. You know what I mean? It was some of it warranted? Yeah, maybe. $24 million. You got to play up to that expectation. Was he handled properly? I don't think he was handled properly. And like I said earlier, I compare a lot of things to American sports. When you got a young quarterback, you let him sit for a little bit. Let him learn the ropes. You let him kind of, learn offense, learn the speed of the game. You don't throw him in to the Wolves. I mean, unless he's from Division I, Oklahoma, unless he's from, a big school. This guy wasn't from Oklahoma. He wasn't from Alabama.
Yes.
He was.
Melo, I'm with you in that. I'm with you with that American sports mindset. But at the same time, we're talking about the most expensive player in the history of the league.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, it's like having a dude coming in from college football who's won the Heisman Trophy 4 years in a row. The expectations are crazy. I mean, this dude's the most expensive player in the history of the Portuguese league. He has to come in today and be a home run. Benfica does not have the luxury of spending a league record fee on a player to sit there and give them time to, look, don't worry about it. Come back in a couple of years. Let's figure it out. We're going to develop you. Look, we can't do that. There's clubs in the world that have, deep pockets. They could go out there and spend money and let the guys get adapted and, they'll acclimate to the whole situation and understand our system, right? When you're the Green Bay Packers and you got Brett Favre, right? And you drafted Aaron Rodgers, yeah, sit behind. We got Brett Favre. When you're the New York Giants and you got
Seferovic is not Brett Favre, right?
You got Danny Dimes, right? You looking for the next guy. You ain't gonna be patient. It's totally different, man. So that's what it's about.
I feel that.
And so I think I've been a little unfair with Darwin, but I think most of my criticism stems from that. The fact that he's the most expensive player in the history of the league. When you spend that type of money on a player, I expect nothing than minimum 25 goals a year. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah,
he's got to come in. He's got to hit a home run from day one.
I do think also, and I don't know how much of an impact this has made, and it's all going to be just us talking shit out of our ass, but the fact that Luis Vieira is gone, you got Rui Costa, you do have a person that has a greater comprehension of what actually the sport is on the pitch. I don't know how much.
Rui Costa hasn't been there the last 13 years?
He's been there. He's been there.
Oh, he's been on vacation?
He's been on vacation, but I think for a while, and I'm curious, this kind of, is he just a puppet in a sense of like, yeah, he's a Rui Costa. It's good for Luis Vieira's brand to bring him up, things of the sort. But Vieira just cares about advertising the kids, making some money, making some wheeling and dealing, because that's all he cared about was the wheeling and dealing. I don't know where Rui Costa's head is at, to be honest. Like, I personally think the club needed a shakeup, not just from Luis Vieira, but a lot of people that are still there. So if someone else was elected, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Rui Costa's going to win it at this point. But
have they really gotten a shake? And now look, I'm
a
Rui Costa guy.
No, it's still the majority of the same guys are there. Like, it's
I'm
still
a
the
Rui
same
Costa
goon.
guy. He knows me by name, so that for me made my year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say we're friends, but he knows who I am, and obviously I know who he is. But and again, I'm not leaning either way. I'm just asking a question, right? This is what we do on podcasts, right? We like to ask questions. Have things really changed since Orelhas got locked up and now, Rui Costa stepped in and named himself the president? I mean, do you really think it's made that big of a difference in 2 months where players made that? Because I personally don't think the players even pay attention to what the hell's going on up top.
Nope.
I'm just imagining in my head, I do feel that the man would probably have more communication with the players. Now, he probably would have had more communication with players prior. But if you, in my imagination, and this is pure imagination land, is Luis Vieira never struck me as a guy that's communicating well with the players and what's going on the pitch.
But every time things got tough, didn't he go away? Wasn't he in the bus? Wasn't he in the locker room? Wasn't he making the emergency
playing the Candy Crush? You know what I mean? Like I think there is a little bit of a feel across the club, and to your point, Chris, if you look at this upcoming election and you look at the nominated people that on this candidate list, it's all the same people that were around Vieira that's running a Rui Costa. You know what I mean? The people that are around the apparatus. But I do think in terms of this feeling of change or things had to change, as soon as that happened, something was changing one way or another, and it could have changed for the worse. I think things could have got very, very ugly. But I think there was this collective pressure that shit needed to start working at this club, or else heads are going to start turning. And I think some of that pressure is felt around the club. And I think these players stepped up and filled in the gap and bailed them out.
Look, I don't want to drag this too long, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to take anything from this, bro. Everybody's entitled to whatever hell they want, and I don't even know which way I'm gonna vote when it comes to the day, right? And I'm a Rui Costa guy. I love Rui Costa. He's my favorite player of all time. But there's Rui Costa the players, Rui Costa the dirigentes, whatever. Those are two different conversations. But the only thing that's changed, aside from, the president getting locked up, all that stuff, which at the end of the day doesn't really affect the locker room. The only thing that's changed, and that's why it's become acceptable, and people, and I'm not mocking you, but there's been change, we've changed. Look, is the fact that we're actually putting the ball in the back of the net, and like Melo said, and Joe said, and we all agreed on here, which is winning cures all. That's the only difference. Because if Benfica was still coming up with the same results, I'm pretty sure, Mario, there will be no talk of things change, the mentality. It's just the fact that we're winning. And so, look, we can't forget. And I'm not knocking Rui Costa. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to hit it. Don't at me with. I'm not knocking. I'm just bringing up facts. Okay.
Yeah.
We Benfiquistas have been in this mess for the last 30 years because we ourselves have woken up too late. We have not. Look, there's been plenty of reasons there to, smacking us in the face, wake up, and we just haven't done our due diligence. Right. We have to do what's best for the club, regardless of who we like. It's about who's going to represent and take our club to the next level and do what we want in the right form and the right ways to take this club to the next level. I just think that once the club starts winning, a lot of those people criticizing, all of a sudden we're winning, we forget about it. And we can't forget about the bad times when we're going through good times, because we all know good times, unfortunately, they all come to an end at some point. You got to start some new good times, right? And so we have to be very wary. We have to be very careful. And let's not just all of a sudden, because we're winning some games, we beat up shit-ass Barcelona with piss yellow uniforms 3-0 at home, right? Now all of a sudden everything's great. Let's,
I agree.
let's not act like that. We need to be smarter, because 30 years of this mess, from Valles Vedo to this crap now, it's enough, man. Enough is enough. And if it is Rui, I hope he's true to his word, and I hope that this club gets to where it belongs, to where it deserves to be, because we Benfiquistas, we care way too much about this club to have this misery going on at the club for year after year.
Yeah, and I would say this much for people who watch this, very much against Vieira and his cronies and things of the sort, and been proud to be part of some of the groups that have been pushing for change. I'll say out loud that I will vote for anyone but the good administration, just to send a message. I do think, though, because exactly what Chris is saying, because we're getting these wins that people quickly forget, I think it'll be probably like a very one-sided affair. But I do hope, as you saw in the General Assembly, that they come out, they make their voices heard, they make them sweat. So even if they win, let them win by a small margin. So they go, okay, we gotta change our ways, we gotta be better, or else we're gonna lose this, right? So, but we'll see.
I think Rui wins with one of those Mike Stanton Grand Slam home runs.
It could be very easily, because he doesn't have really,
especially Benfica get through. Especially Benfica get through the Champions League.
He's gonna win hands down, bro.
Yeah. My only ask for, I know everyone tunes into the podcast, so Rui Costa, Benitez, like everyone, just can you please do a podcast like Sporting's? Every time Sporting's putting out these like George Fonseca, like these little podcasts for the modalidades, like the normal like team.
Bro, they got that. It's called Benfica. They got that. It's called Benfica Independent. Serginho does a great job with all the modalidades.
Yes, he does.
Serginho is a freaking icon. He's bigger than anything. That dude does a better job than anybody out. That dude and João.
I'm not hip to
everybody involved. Yeah,
so I need to watch it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. You should. I mean, we do a fantastic job on the Benfica Independent. It's your one-stop shop for anything Benfica. There's plenty of the Feminina team, the volleyball, you name it, everything. It's just tremendous coverage from top to bottom. So look, Benfica don't want to do it. That's fine. There's other people, other great people out there doing that work for us to represent our club.
I'll say this much: I got a chance to meet him before. He's a salt of the earth, kindest guy ever.
Says he's the man.
Good people, man. Everyone, like I know Cristiano, they're good people, and I think the benefit this club has is, and I was saying this for a while, and I still say it to this day, the best thing about this club is not what's inside it, it's what's around it. It's the people around this club, the fans. It is, man. It's you guys, man.
It's you, buddy. It's you. It's you.
Yeah, one of my greatest regrets, man, is not having the chance to meet Melo in Pittsburgh, man. I mean,
yeah, man. That was a fun time, man. That was my birthday. My birthday.
They flew me out, Melo. I won't even say what they flew me. What Benfica sent me the jersey to get. I won't even say what it was, but they flew me out. I had to come back, and then by the time I got back, I got back to get back on a plane to come back to Jersey to then carry on with the next games. But it's one of those that I know you were there. You at the Marriott, and I just miss you. It was you and there's a bunch of other people.
Yeah, it was. I was rocking with Alfredo.
Yeah. But like Mario said, man, the Benfiquistas, the atmosphere. I tell you, when I go to the Luz, it's guaranteed. I roll up into the game. The game's like 15 minutes in because I'm at Mega and whatever. I'm drinking beer. Like I just want to meet the people, that camaraderie, that you know what I mean. To get to meet everybody. It's a huge family, man, and it's tremendous atmosphere. It's tremendous to having the privilege of spending a few minutes with everybody. So Mary, I ditto everything you say, man. And Melo, you gotta come out to Jersey, man, so we can chill.
Oh yeah, man. I'm making that trip next. I'm trying to make that.
Leave your Red Sox shit at home.
Joe for sure. I'm definitely I always travel in my A's gear, but I definitely am making the trip. Definitely making the trip to to a Benfica game next year. It's already in the works. Lots of things have been taking me away from that trip, but next year I'm making it happen. Well, hopefully, I'm gonna let everybody know so we can all link up. And
Melo.
in Pittsburgh, I was just glad that I was glad to link up with Alfredo. Like I said, I've been listening to you guys for a long time, man. Like on a fluke too, just kind of like I wonder if
You must not have nothing better to do,
someone.
bro.
I'm like, I don't. I have lots of long drives, a lot of traffic used to. But I was like, well, I wonder if, Benfica has a podcast, and I found you guys, and it's been great ever since. Kind of got us to do this show. So, you know what I mean? I really appreciate the influence that you guys have on
Yeah, Mario
us
used to
and a lot
pop
of the
on our
Benfica.
show and join the Freddies in our chat.
When I had hair.
Then he disappeared. He started doing a pod with you, Melo, and he disappeared, man. Never seen him again.
I became a velhot. I'm always happy to help out. No, I gotta say, as someone in the chat, it's funny when I hear someone hasn't heard about you guys, because I'm like, it's the longest standing English speaking podcast out there, and it's
we got nothing better to do on Tuesday nights for I don't know how many years now. Guys.
I love it. I love it.
We're bored, and so
I will say, coming up in a couple weeks, I'm meeting with he was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still awake, but the Quebec Kevin. Many years back when I did
we met in Toronto.
Yeah,
right?
He came down. Yeah. And then he got mad at you.
PSG. He got mad at me
because you started making fun of San Miguel and you couldn't understand a word he was saying. But it's because his French accent with the San Miguel accent.
I did that way back in 2015. Yo, Kevin, I still love you, Kevin.
Yeah, I know he's good. He's good.
I don't know. I got, dude. It's one of my my great, I guess. I piss off people from that part of the country a lot.
Hey, at least you say that part of the country. There are some people that wouldn't even call it the same country. So
trust me,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I know how to. I'm stepping on eggshells here. I know how to maneuver.
I think it's hilarious.
There we go.
I think it's funny. And maybe howl
Kevin's a great sport, though, man. Him, his
he's
wife,
a good guy. He's a good guy.
Wife, all you guys were all right, man. All you guys were all right when we met up in Toronto. And then we met in Jersey. Didn't he? He didn't come to Jersey. You did. He didn't come.
Was he in Jersey?
No, he didn't. Because remember we went to dinner afterwards?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. It was
he didn't come.
We had Nina,
Maz,
Maz's former lover that no one talks about anymore.
Jesus Christ. I didn't Maz, I didn't say it.
Yeah, it was. It's very funny. She took all these photos and then strategically cropped them all. It's quite funny.
Yeah, Photoshop is amazing.
She did amazing work with Photoshop.
That good eraser.
It was a good trip, man. It was hilarious. Sergio from Toronto came down.
Timo was down. Yeah, a bunch of people. We had a great time.
I'm next year, man. Next year, it's gonna happen. I'm ready to go to my first Benfica game. I'm gonna be a little emotional. I already know. Just even thinking about it, even thinking about buying the.
Melo, you gotta let me know when you're going. Maybe if I could, we'll link.
Yeah,
up,
I'll
man.
Definitely give everybody a big heads up before, so we can make it happen. I mean, I'm going either way. You know what I mean? But I just got to find the right game. I think that's really what it is. I just got to find the right match, the right day,
any
right
match.
month.
It's any match.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean by match,
but
because
it really is.
My grandmother, she wants to go out and
don't pick a Benfica Bayern match.
No. She wants to go in September, which is cool because that's the beginning of the season. So that would be. I'm aiming next September. Is what my aim is.
Let's jump into the Chorizo match, play the match. So you want to do that, and then we'll kind of cover out the tail end of the game with that real quickly. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so everyone knows the shtick with this, which is, your favorite player, your Chorizo, the guy that disappointed you a little bit in your favorite play. But I will say, outside of all the Chorizo we've done in a while and all the plays of the match we've done in the past while, I think this is by far the hardest one we've had. I think collectively the team did amazing. And if I was to just pick one guy to kind of say a player of the match, I'm going to give it to the guy that's disappointed a lot, which is Darwin, right? Darwin himself has had a very rough go in this past year. A lot of people have been rightfully saying that this guy's not going to step up, and he proved a lot of people wrong. And I think that him, stepping up to the penalty spot, you saw Bruno Fernandes this past weekend in the EPL not be able to do it, right? There's a lot of pressure in a situation like that. And so I'm going to give him, it could have been anyone on this pitch. Could have been Weigl. It could have been Verissimo Odysseus, but I'll give it to Darwin, is who I'll just kick it off to. And I could not pick one Chorizo. I actually collectively thought the team did amazing. I always can find a Chorizo, but this time around, I'll just throw it on the media in terms of their reaction to this. I just thought it was quite funny. And the play for me really has to be that goal at Rafa, just kind of the pressure they applied, the fact they took the shot, kind of the little back and forth with Chuck and I think it was João Mario that led to the play, led to the rebound, led to the goal. Like everything about that was great. Once he got to 2-0, it was like legitimately, okay, we got this. We're gonna hold on. We're gonna get 3 points, right?
All right, I'll cut the line here. So player of the game is gonna go to Darwin because that early goal changed the complexity of the game. My what is it? Top play of the game, right?
Yeah,
Top
play. Yeah.
Top play of the game. That play where Verissimo some way somehow gets his body on the ball because 1-1 game all of a sudden it could change the whole complexity of the game. And my chorizo of the game, the referee.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
There it is.
Done.
That's why I wanted to cut you, Melo, before you stole that because you're good with those. So I didn't want you to cut them down. There's more.
Right? No. He muted himself because Nelly was talking, and now he doesn't realize he's muted.
No, you definitely jumped in. And I'm glad you did because, I mean, we're basically. I'm gonna echo you a lot, but my player of the match, I have to give it to Julian Weigl. I mean, for me personally, a lot of those plays today were him picking his head up, looking downfield, seeing who's down there, down the pitch, seeing who's down there. And those two passes, the first pass over top to Darwin, great goal. But again, in the play of the match for sure is going to be Verissimo's tackle. I mean, like you said, 1-1, that could have changed everything. Benfica, who knows how the Benfica would have reacted. We've seen us get punched in the stomach and not, throw anything back, have anything left in the tank throwback. So that Verissimo goal, man, definitely play of the match. And my chorizo of the match, I will give it. It's tough. Yeah, man. I want to give it to. It's hard. It's hard. You know what? I'm gonna give. It's gonna sound funny, but I'm gonna give it to Darwin, and this is why. This is why. I think it's the
chorizo moment.
Yeah.
The chorizo moment.
The chorizo moment. Yeah, I think it was the 51st minute. That goal, wide open net. Ter Stegen playing, fucking center defensive midfield. Like I just think like you have to come away with a goal somehow, whether you pass it to Chuck, who was asking for the ball, or you get it in the back of the net. You
got a striker. You want a striker to take that shot. You want a striker to take that shot. You're by yourself. Sure. You just got to get it on goal.
You got to aim the other post. I'm thinking like. You know what I mean? Like you got to aim far post, but it is what it is, and it's tough. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to a Shooty's moment. Darwin just you gotta knock that down, man.
Yeah, Melo, that's actually a good point. I guess I can kind of do the Shooties of the match right away. And for me, looking at this match, I mean, we discussed a little bit beforehand. It's one of the few matches where even like the PSV like 0-0 draw, obviously Verissimo screwed him over. Like there was always that one guy who kind of even in the great matches wasn't at his best. Today it's really hard. Like in the first half, you could say João Mario, but then in the second half, I think he was arguably the best player in the pitch. So like you can't pick him. Just to pick somebody, I'm gonna pick Valentino Lazaro. And that's only because out of all the players today that played at least 60 minutes, I'm not talking about Pizzi or Tarapto or Gonçalo. He was really the guy that kind of offered the least. That being said, he still offered a lot, but he was just,
because he got hurt,
the least of the best. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he just had to put my heart on the line with Gilbert coming into the match. But that being said, my play of the match actually comes in the 69th minute, and it starts with my main man Gilbert. And really, he is the one that starts that second goal. The play kind of dies there in the midfield. Gilbert picks up the ball, plays it through to Darwin. Darwin's in the corner, tries to cross it. It's blocked. It still ends up going to the other side of the box, finds its way to João Mario. He plays a real clever 1-2 with Yaremchuk. That's really one thing that I love to see, that movement there between the two of them. Kind of you see that chemistry start to
Chuck's
build.
really good at that play too, that give and go. He's amazing at that.
Yes. And we know how that ended. João Mario's shots blocked by Ter Stegen, and Rafa Silva he absolutely smashed that rebound to the top of the net. And that's what opened it up 2-0. And this is just a moment too. I also want to shout out to JJ. because that front three we've seen of Darwin, Chuck, and Rafa has started the last 3 games together. Those last 3 games have each produced 3 goals, so that's 9 goals. And those 3 have either had a goal or assist in 8 of those 9 goals. That's unreal from JJ. That you want to talk about a manager making a difference? That's all you need to see right there. Because here's the thing. But I think of this whole season, like when we look at the difference between last year to this year, it's obvious, right? The defense. Last year at this point, we had 18 goals given up. This year, it's only 5. Odie, sitting on 8 clean sheets this year already, just through 13 games. That's unreal. But, you did that against Kiev, and we're still beating ourselves up over Kiev because we couldn't score. And that's what we need to remember. Like, even though we fixed the defensive part of it, it's still that offensive side that we're, getting down on JJ for. And JJ's proven us wrong now. I mean, 9 goals in 3 matches. I can't ask for any more.
Mhm.
So that's really my play of the match is Gilbert. And then Julian Weigl. Everyone on the pod knows that I'm a Julian Weigl stan. Love the guy. Cristiano, even when I shouldn't have, even when I was supposed to be putting him down, I've always loved him back at those Dortmund days. And this is a guy who always got criticized for only passing, he only passes, to the side.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
You got his piece.
He was gonna say he only passes to the sides, but then he didn't today. That's what he was gonna say.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're back. Exactly, yeah. No, we're passing to the side and back, 99% passing rate, but like, what does it mean? He had the pass today that led to the first goal. He had that pass that led to the breakaway to Darwin that he hit the post. And then he also had the one where Darwin was offside. Ter Stegen made a nice save. Like, he's just making more risky passes, those lofted through balls. And it's just, he's grown so much. You see him really living for the badge. And for me, there's so many guys to pick today. But for me, it's going to be Julian Weigl. Otamendi, honorable mention because he was unreal too.
I think Odie has to get honorable mention too. I know they're in the chat giving me shit. Like I don't hate the guy. I just think we could get a better keeper. But that ain't wrong. Why is that wrong to say that? Why is that wrong? That ain't wrong. That's not wrong. We could get a better keeper. I'm just
for
saying.
sure.
But today,
they're good. They're good today.
Yeah, like I said before, I always say, if Odie punched people like he punches the ball, he'd be the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm gonna repeat this shit all the time until it catches on. He
needs to catch the ball.
He can't do that.
You're muted, Melo. Look, there was a play in the second half. If you guys recall, Memphis Depay crosses the ball into the box, and he comes out and he both fists punches it to the. He catches. There's nobody around him. He gets a hold of that ball. Maybe he's able to spring Darwin on the counter. No, he doesn't. He never does that, and that's the biggest problem that I have with him. Is there's plenty of times that he can start a counterattack for Benfica, or he can keep the ball. He can keep possession for Benfica, but because of his lack of ability to hold on to the freaking ball, or his confidence, whatever it may be, he's always giving the ball back to the opposition. There's times a shot straight at him, and he could just tap it, whatever, parry it, whatever, do what he's got to do, get a hold of it. Benfica stays in possession. All of a sudden, he
does volleyball every time. He just he pops it back in front of the box.
What does he do? He punches it away, goes out to a corner. Now it's another scoring opportunity. Now we're under pressure as opposed to being comfortable. To me, that's one of my biggest complaints about him. And so for anyone that thinks that Benfica is well served at goalkeeper, you need to go to read Goalkeepers for Dummies or something.
That's why he lost his job to Helton, because Helton was able to do those things, but he's just not a shot blocker like Odie. I'll give it to him. Odie's a shot blocker.
Odie in between the pipes. His cat-like reflexes. He's
unreal,
much better.
right.
But I thought the command of the box, I thought Helton's got way more command, way better command of the box.
A lot more fearless, willing to run out. Odie today at one point did jump out. And then he still did the punch of the ball, but his weakness is right. Like A, he doesn't run out, doesn't seem to have the confidence run out, and B, instead of captures the ball and creating an offensive play, he's volleying it back in front of the box, around the box, and it keeps the pressure on us, right? So that's what sunk us.
But look, in his defense, and Melo and I'm pretty I see you guys talking about Melo, criticizing him as much as anybody. I'm right beside you, buddy. But in his defense, got one of the best goalkeepers in the world who did exactly that today. He thought he was playing center field for the Boston Red Sox or whatever it was, and just coming out and overrunning the ball. I don't know what he was thinking.
All right.
That's one of the best. That's one of the best, and he did it. So I guess if he could do that, I guess we shouldn't be criticizing the likes of Vlaco Dimas.
And he can improve, man. Hopefully he improves. I will say now we got this last quick touch point. I won't spend too much time on it, but Porto-Munich coming up next this Sunday. Then we're going to go into international breaks. So then the question becomes, is, Jorge Jesus, criticism he's had in the past is once he finds something that works, don't change it, don't break it, just work it and work it hard. But this is a team that, we have the benefit of a lot of different talent. And at the same time, do we go in with the exact same lineup we've been using back to back to back and just go hard again against Porto-Munich? No. Or do you think he's going to try to switch it up? Because I got a feeling Darwin, Rafa, and Yemachuk they're going to get some international minutes, or they're going to get a call up. So these guys aren't really going to get a break per se. They're going to be traveling, doing their bits. And we do get a slight break when they come back because it is Trofins and the Taça Portugal who we face. So I am curious.
Benfica have so much more depth. So much more depth than last year, man. I mean, you could tell, like, I think that's the thing different with JJ this year, too. Last year, yeah, he stuck to who he had because, I mean, everybody else wasn't really good. You know what I mean? Like, he had to stick with the same 11 because nobody sitting on the bench was going to make any difference. But this year, I think you got. I mean, he hasn't really found himself yet, in my opinion. But you got like Mete, who's he can sub for Weigl. Weigl get some rest. You could put Sarap or Pizzi in for João Mario. Everton's got to get some minutes. You can't give up on him. Jetson, I like Jetson a lot. I think you have a lot of good talent. I think JJ. I think he's gonna have fun. I said that.
Well, he's suspended right now in the league, unfortunately, from that.
Saturday, Saturday night. We call him Saturday.
That's right, because of the Braga stuff. Yes. But look, I agree with some of what you said, but I think when you consider, as Mario mentioned, you got the international break coming up, then you have a Taça de Cerveja game after that. With the 4-point lead, I think Benfica now has to worry about winning their next game and keeping that pressure on our rivals. And I think that's all JJ's worried about. So I would not be surprised if you see the same exact lineup.
It's hard again. Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe one little tweak here and there because obviously Lazaro with the pulled hammy or whatever it is growing, he's not going to be available. So you're going to see Gilberto Carlos in there most likely. So that'll be a change. But I don't think there'll be many changes after that. I'm sorry?
Diogo's currently hurt, yeah.
Well, he might be coming back. I don't know. There was a question mark whether he was going to be available today or not, so he might be available on Saturday. But if not, it'll be Gilberto Carlos. And look, Benfica has to apply the pressure, keep this momentum going, because at the end of the day, you win your game, all of a sudden our opposition starts sweating a little bit more. So and things get a lot more.
It makes the gap look wider, right? So it's all about the timing.
It is wider if they win. It'll be a 7-point. It could be. It becomes a wider gap.
That's true.
And one thing that I do find always interesting is like I feel like last year's squad kind of lacked it. Is when you have that set group of guys that need to start week in week out. If I'm Gonçalo Ramos, I'm working my ass off every week in every day in training because I know the only way I break into the squad is if I raise my level. It's not like last year where it's like, well, eventually when JJ gets sick of this guy, he's going to put me in. It seemed like there was just that whole type, unless you're Everton and he starts you every match, even if your legs are gone. But like, it seems like this year that competition, that like being the strongest team on the field, works internally too. It's like Sporting last year. Like all those young kids that came up, they knew that they had to fight for their place, and that helped them. Obviously, there were a lot of other factors that helped Sporting, and not to take any credit from them, they had a great season. But it's just it's going to be real interesting to see what happens down the stretch as guys start getting pulled away for international break. As JJ starts seeing some injuries, some knocks here and there. But honestly, I'm here for it. I think it took last year for us to realize, and for JJ to realize too, to kind of take a slice of that humble pie. But I think he's ready to rise to the challenge this year, and I'm here for it. We'll see what happens with Bayern, but on the other side of those Bayern matches, we still have a Barca and a Kiev game, and we're in control of our own destiny as far as I'm concerned, which is all I could ask for after today.
Cool. All right, man. I want to say a big thank you to Cristiano because he's been very generous with his time. If you ever want to find him, you just say his name in New York, and people will point out, yeah, I know that guy. Comes on the programmers around here. No, but it's honestly,
they were like, yeah, I know that guy.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Okay.
Owes me money. I know that guy. Pay up.
But yeah, man, you can find them on the Benfica podcast, man. Those guys have been around forever. Again, longest running English speaking Benfica podcast. I don't think there's anyone that's been running around any longer. I will say us Benfiquistas have a plethora of people out there doing projects, doing ideas. They do it because they love the club. And I don't want to be offensive to the Sportistas. I don't want to be offensive to the Portistas. Because it's just that the reality is, if you
it's
go
our
search
show, you can do whatever
you search for a sporting podcast, they got the 360, and if you search for a Porto podcast, I don't think one even exists. We got to count ourselves grateful for the great people that are out there, and Cristiano is one of those great people out there, putting in so much time, so much effort, and
Damn, you got to give me a PayPal account again, man. I got to send you some more money for all those kind words, man. I appreciate it, bro.
But it's true, and it's and we're lucky, man. I'm happy to be feeling the way I'm feeling now, because God, that was a dark place about a year and a bit ago. It feels good. The momentum this club's going on. You know,
I mean, I think Champions League's been a dark place, Mario. Just this whole I don't even like that song anymore. People are like, I love the Champions League song. I'm like, I fucking hate that song. Every time that song comes on,
did you guys see Jan?
Fuck. Here we go.
Did you guys see Jan singing along today? It was adorable.
Oh yeah. Real quick before I forget, because I forgot to shout this out. Yeah, we're talking about guys, like the mentality these players have right now. You know, he's at the end of his career. He kind of signs for a couple seasons with Benfica. He's a decent player. You know, he put in the goddamn minutes to learn the language very well. And I know they got professional trainers helping with this stuff, but you got a lot of guys that cannot give a rat's ass. And it kind of shows the mindset right now. I do feel like people are buying in.
Have you seen the state that Tottenham's in of late? My man is ecstatic. He's happy as hell. He's learning Portuguese. I'm out of that hell mess. He's learning. He's doing everything he can to adapt to Portugal. He's ecstatic.
Vertonghen speaks better Portuguese than JJ. And JJ's from fucking Portugal.
Good point.
Take
it easy.
Hey, you guys got to watch him if you haven't seen it. He tried speaking Spanish today. JJ, I'm talking about in the press conference. It's unreal. You got to watch
check
it.
that out. I remember a couple years
ago. It says
like
everything in Portuguese.
Cinco, whatever.
It's the same thing today. He's like talking about something. He's like, and then he goes like, 82. And that's the only thing he said in Spanish. It's so funny.
I got to check it out.
Yeah.
That guy is it's amazing, man. I can't once his day is done as a manager and he's fully retired, that guy will have one of the best compilations of press conferences out of the Portuguese Liga.
He's been tamed, bro. He's been tamed. He came back. He's not the same dude that when he left.
He does seem more like of a player's coach nowadays than he did before, right? Like, I'm okay with that now. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
I think these guys love him, though. I think Rafa and I think the team also loves the guy. Like, how
who doesn't love him, Melo? Peasy don't love him. I don't
Gabriel.
think Peasy loves him. Oh, Gabriel for sure. Gabriel right now is chasing camels in Qatar. But yeah,
he's not even on the beach, man.
No, Gabriel's in Qatar. He got loaned out. He's in El Garrafa. That's the club he plays for, El Garrafa.
I think if Peasy loves this club as much as he says he does, then I don't think this should be a problem for him. I mean, I think he knows where he's at right now.
He's on his way. He's on his final legs.
Not anybody's calling, right? If somebody called, I guarantee he'd have been gone this offseason. I don't think anybody was calling. So I think he's fine. I mean, I don't know. I guess not. Professional athletes are never fine sitting on the bench, I guess.
Exactly.
But you'd hope not.
You'd hope not, right? But I just think PZ sees
unless you're
things are working.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's worth it.
300 days.
The issue this team had before.
Did that for 5 years before we got to see him play. I'm like, damn, bro. Every time you guys talked about him, like, he's a ghost. Like, I don't know.
You're not allowed to rag on Tarap, Melo. Not when I'm around, right? You're not allowed.
No Tarap slander.
Hey, I'll say this much.
We call him Saturday night.
I remember years back.
That's when he comes alive.
Cristiano
Saturday night
at Urban.
I gotta say this. Cristiano was like on this guy, loved the guy. Obviously disappointed the initial showings that didn't work out as well, but he believed in him, and he took a lot of banter, including for myself and other people. And he stuck it out. He is the one and true believer that.
But I had a lot of credit, though. I had a lot of credit reserved in my back pocket from the Julio Cesar days and the Jonas days. I still recall when Jonas signed with Benfica and everybody like, he's old. He doesn't play at Valencia. Everybody's giving him shit. And I was going nuts. I did Melo. I did a podcast with a vest on, nothing on. I'm at my 3 hairs sticking out. I was so excited. I was like, we got Pistolas. Look. Never in a million years did I think he was going to be as crucial, as important as he was for Benfica. But I was excited. I thought he was a magnificent signing at the time. And so I had some of that credit. Adel Tarap, things didn't start off so well, but I think I blame the Tarap situation on the whole Rui Vitoria stuff. Rui Vitoria burned the guy from day one. As you know, Mary, I got into plenty of arguments with Rui Vitoria. Press conferences came. It asked him in the front of the newspapers and everything about our interactions and whatever. And then I had the privilege of spending a few days and, working at Benfica in the whole 9 and then being with Adele. And he explained to me the whole situation. So I went in liking the guy. And then after I had that hour and a half long conversation, I came out actually liking the guy even more. And I just felt bad for him because at the end of the day, we all forget these guys are human beings. Right? They're not just machines. Yeah, he is. He's a street legend.
Street legend.
Absolutely. But the credit he gets, though, is the fact that you got a choice to make. If the manager's not backing you, things are going your way, fans aren't loving you, this isn't your home club, that you got no, you really don't need to be loyal to the team. He chose to put his nose down and work his ass off.
Well, he told me that the decision came down to retiring or buying in one last time and giving it a shot because that's basically, he was discarded by Benfica. And so he told me, it was like, I love football and I wanted to continue playing. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to continue to be myself and play. And I would have to change some of my game and adapt to a new position, adapt to a new football. And I decided to have that whole mentality switch. And I did it, and I'm happy I did it. And we've seen the results. And so there's a lot of people that still
have to become a plumber.
There's plenty of people that can't stand the guy to this day. They still haven't forgiven him. But sometimes, man, it takes 2 to tango. Don't forget, it's not just on the player. It's easy to sit there and blame him. So.
But I got more respect.
I mean a plumber by like the trade guy, like a guy you plug in. You gotta adapt. You learn a trade.
He's a journeyman.
We put you in trade school for 6 months. You learn the trade. You come out. You play.
Got a little certificate.
You get a little certificate.
But I got more respect for guys who go in the gutter and make the choice to pick themselves up. It takes a lot of willpower, and he's a good example of someone that shit didn't go right, and he can be used as an example for years to come. And if there's a player ever in the locker room that has potential, but he's not living up to his potential for whichever reason, whether it be manager or whatever going on.
I mean, you could just go down the line. Jovic, the other dude.
Okay, we saw to Atalanta. What was it? Atalanta?
Brian
Cristante.
Brian Cristante. You have Jurisic, was it whatever. You had all those guys from like Serbia and whatever.
Krovi was another one. Yeah,
so much talent, and they didn't take advantage of it. And so look, it is what it is. It's part of being a professional, but we tend to give a pass to a guy we like and be harsh on a guy we don't necessarily like, and it is what it is. You get paid that type of money. You live in a dream, and you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Great night, man. If you guys would be willing, I'll go for many more hours. But it is quite late on the East Coast, as we know. Luigi, I'm shocked he didn't pop in, but I guess he's in his quack.
Luigi is waking up right now and frying some eggs, getting some toast ready at this time.
He's getting the he's cleaning.
He's waxing his fiambre. He's waxing his fiambre to get the tattoo.
He's getting ready. Exactly. He's polishing. Picking out messy face designs that he wants. That was part of the thing. I was gonna put 3-0 and Messi's face.
Luis woke up, put a tie on with no collar on, just to be professional today. Just a tie and a t-shirt.
Just tighty whitey's going to get his tattoo.
Yeah. Guy's probably still. Right here, he's hyped there. He's still up. He could have come on here.
Yeah, he's still hyped.
Guys, he just has to click on his phone.
440. Jesus.
Click.
If I had to get that tattoo, you got to get. I wouldn't be too hyped.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be either.
Just get it. Just get it below your
tape.
Get
get a block. Don't get color. Just get like a prison tattoo somewhere small. You know what I mean? Like maybe like right here.
Just get another Benfica tattoo. That doesn't hurt.
Get you a little needle tattoo. You can do it yourself.
Get in Chinese letters or something like that. We don't know what it means. Barcelona. We don't know. Something like that. Like that. We don't know. Yeah. So
that way you can tell people it means prosperity or something.
I love Benfica or some shit.
Yeah. Or ramen.
All right, guys. I do love ramen, man. That's actually.
I like ramen too. I'm a
That's
fan
so
of
good.
ramen. Yeah.
All right, man. Let's we'll go to the outro, man. You guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.